花子さん、あなたは昨夜、奥さんの智子さんを殺害した。これ、間違いないですね。花子さん、あなたはナイフで、奥さんの喉元から胸を左右に切り裂いた。なぜです？なぜあんな殺し方したんですか？
わかんないんです。どうしてあんなことに。
なんか小説で読んだとか、映画で見たとか、誰かから聞いたとか。
いいえ。
There's a moment at the start of Cure that feels almost incidental. Just a beach, a man sketching, another drifting into the frame. But watch closely. As the two men speak, the sand seems to change color, subtly turning gray, not through editing, just cloud cover. A natural coincidence, but a perfect metaphor. 'Cause in Cure, the light doesn't disappear suddenly. It fades. It dims gradually like blood draining from a face. Kurosawa's horror isn't about what jumps out at you. It's about what seeps in. Cure is a 1997 psychological horror film by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, not to be confused with the other Kurosawa, Mr. Akira. Though maybe we shouldn't separate them so easily, because in his own way Kiyoshi Kurosawa is making epic films. Not samurai films or huge battles, but of despair. Of how fragile modern life is and how thin the barrier is between routine and ruin. On the surface, Cure is a police procedural. Detective Kenichi Takabe investigates a series of murders. Each victim has a large X carved into their neck. Each killer is a different job, different social class, different motive. The only constant? None of them remember doing it. This isn't a whodunit. It's a why-done-it. And Cure offers no easy answers. Eventually, all trails lead to Mamiya, a man who barely remembers his own name. He looks like a college dropout or a drifter, but there's something off. He's passive, detached, and yet when he speaks, something happens. Not instantly, but later, after he leaves. His victims go home and kill. He doesn't command. He asks gently, "Where are you from? Do you remember your childhood?" His power lies not in action, but suggestion. He finds the cracks already present in people and just widens them. This is the horror Kurosawa is after. Not possession, but permission. A soft invitation to step into the darkness you already carry. But if Cure were only a story about murder by hypnosis, it would be just another creepy thriller. What makes it unforgettable is what lies underneath. Its study of loneliness, disconnection, and the decay of reason itself. Detective Takabe is not just tracking a killer. He himself is unraveling. His wife slipping into her schizophrenia or earlier dementia, perhaps both. He can't reach her, and in this grief, he's alone. His colleagues don't understand, his psychologist friend Sakuma offers advice but can't relate. Slowly, Takabe's world becomes a series of closed doors and unfinished conversations. At one point, we see a monkey, caged and starving, pacing in agitation. It's not subtle. Kurosawa doesn't need it to be. This is every character in Cure. Trapped, malnourished, not for food but connection, starved of meaning. And like the monkey, they're being observed, tracked by Kurosawa's camera, which rarely cuts. It lingers, it watches. When someone leaves the frame, the camera follows, not like Ozu, who lets his characters walk out of frame as life moves on. Kurosawa moves with them, as if afraid they'll disappear completely. This visual claustrophobia turns the viewer into an observer, another watcher on the wall, part of the surveillance state, but no one's really watching, not with the care they need to, not with empathy, just with a quiet, cold distance. This is the Japan of numbed routines, public servants, decaying marriages, apathy. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to, and no one feels anything until Mamiya arrives. In Mamiya's room, Takabe finds a telling book, Mesmer and the End of Enlightenment in France. It's not just about hypnosis, it's about the death of reason. Franz Mesmer, a pseudoscientist who coined the animal magnetism, was part of a movement that pretended to be rational while spreading irrational ideas. A fitting mirror for Mamiya. Mamiya is Mesmer, but he's also Robespierre, a quiet revolutionary ushering in this reign of terror, not through bombs or speeches, but through suggestion, through eye contact, through questions. Sakuma, the man of science, is broken by Mamiya. Logic doesn't protect him. Training doesn't save him. Cure is devastating not because it attacks your body, but because it slowly erodes your mind. Even Takabe starts to change. His control slips. His temper gets worse. The boundaries between his duty and despair, work and violence, all begin to blur. The film ends ambiguously, as quietly as it began. But if you're paying attention, you know what's happened. The infection has spread, not just to one man, but to the world. This is the brilliance of Cure. It's not about what we fear in others. It's about what we fear in ourselves. That under the right pressure, even the right push, we are all capable of horror. That beneath the politeness and the civility we show others is something raw and violent. Kurosawa doesn't point fingers, he doesn't scream, he observes. And what he sees is a society collapsing inward, not from chaos, but from disconnection. At the time of its release, Cure was buried in a wave of 90s serial killer thrillers, Seven, Silence of the Lambs, Copycat. But Cure is different. It has none of their gloss, none of their moral binaries, no clever resolution, no twisted genius to admire, just a slow, quiet breakdown. Its violence feels empty, inevitable, tragic. Few horror films feel as sad as Cure. Not tragic in a Shakespearean sense, but sad in a way that's hard to articulate. Like Herzog's Nosferatu or Lowry's A Ghost Story, films that don't just want to scare you. They want you to sit in sorrow, to feel the weight of their existence. Cure asks, what happens when people stop feeling connected? When therapy fails, when love withers, when institutions crack? It doesn't offer answers. It may be because there aren't any. Maybe there's no villain to catch, no system to fix, no cure. Just the hope that someone, somewhere, might still see you and care. Until then, we pace in our cages, asking ourselves quietly, who am I?